After episode 15 of Queen of Tears, I must say that the writer is beginning to get on the viewer's last nerves. She's set to wring the last bit of tears and anxiety from the viewers. The ending of the last episode left the fans of the drama distraught, as the ending hangs in the balance, whether our BaekHong couple will have a happily ever after, or if the bad guys will continue to win to the end, as Hyun-Woo can be seen fighting for his life on a surgeon's table. However, with such an emotional episode, it seems our BaekHong couple will have a happy ending. We only wish to see them happy together before the series ends. Knowing how good Hyun-Woo is with guns, he's going to protect his lady love. What's more, as suspected, it looks like Eun-sung and his mother had a hand in Soo-won's death. This was how Eun-sung knew that someone saved Hyun that day, and claimed to have been the one, because of his trauma about what happened. Who else laughed when Hyun thought Hyun-Woo was holding on to her? This was her heart wishing he would. Also, who else peeped the cameo from My Love from the star cast? This was such a wholesome moment, as they maintained character in the episode. However, I was too tense to appreciate their presence. Annoyingly, the bad guys are still on a winning streak, as Eun-sung and his mother are still roaming free. However, Soo-Hyun is finally going to be behind bars in the next episode. After finding out about her attempt on Hain's life, Eun-sung threw the gauntlet down. As expected, mother and son are at each other's necks. I must say that the recently concluded episode, despite having its comic relief moments, was annoying, unreasonable, and stress-inducing. The writer is taking the name of the drama too literally, by taking the fans of the drama through a roller coaster of emotions. You'd think we'd get a little bit of happiness as the drama is close to its end, but no, the writer took it to the trenches, by endangering Hyun-Woo. What doesn't make sense are the things Eun-sung gets away with. How could Hain's family leave her in his care for a month, after Hyun-Woo was arrested? I understand that he threatened her father, but what about the other members of the family? Couldn't her father risk it all for his daughter? I felt no pity for them when Hyun rejected their welcome. They deserved her cold shoulders. Eun-sung took the opportunity to paint a picture in Hain's mind, turning her against all that could help her remember her past life. What also doesn't make sense is getting the whole staff at the company to sign an NDA. An NDA is a legally binding non-disclosure agreement. Getting the whole staff to sign such a document should be illegal in the workplace. So her secretary and friend couldn't risk her job to tell her the truth. Moreover, what happened to Hain's infamous public announcement? I guess this was the fantasy part the cast mentioned in their interview. What's more, Eun-sung and his mother are at a crossroads. Eun-sung doesn't mind sacrificing everything to be with his obsession, Hyun, while his mother sees her as an obstacle to the plans. She must be the one behind Eun-sung's pending dethronement as chairman of the group. If she can't get her son to act properly, she might as well become the chairwoman of the group. Eun-sung currently thinks that Hyun-Woo is behind it, not knowing that his mother is working behind closed doors. However, her greed is going to land her in jail, as Eun-sung has no love for her. When Eun-sung finds out her intentions, it looks like he'll submit the evidence of her involvement in the late chairman's death to the police, to get her off his back. She can be seen riled up about his betrayal in the preview for the next episode. Eun-sung's obsession with Hyun is proving to be fatal. Trying to exploit her vulnerability, he planned to marry her within a month. When he found out that her heart still beats for Hyun-Woo, and that he couldn't control her, he planted a tracking device on her. Hain's brain might have forgotten, but it seems like her heart and hunches never forgot. She never warmed up to him, despite his lies about them being more than friends. With how devious Eun-sung has been throughout the series, I wouldn't put it past him to have tampered with Hain's medication. Hain getting better and then getting her memories back will work against him, so he must have done something to hinder this. Before Hain read her journal, she took her medicine. There must be a reason we were shown this scene. This must have done something to her, as she can be seen still as obnoxious as she was before reading the journal. It was frustrating to see her not remember Hyun-Woo. However, her heart knew something she didn't. Her subconscious kept taking her back to him. I was devastated during the aquarium scene. Her love for Hyun-Woo is so great that she took all precautions to make sure she doesn't forget him. Hyun-Woo was held for a month as the prosecutors prepared their case against him. This worked in Eun-sung's favor, and was convenient for the writer. However, with Hyun-Woo acquitted and his goon arrested, it's only a matter of time before he names Eun-sung as his employer. There's no reason for Eun-sung to have claimed to have sustained an injury while trying to save Hae-in. Had he been the one who killed Mr. Pyeon, that would have made sense, as he'd used it to mask his tracks. This was one of the things that made Hae-in suspicious of him. Knowing that his lies were catching up to him, he suggested elopement to Hae-in. However, when he found out that Hae-in and Hyun-Woo were about to reconnect, he snapped. He must have been the one who hid Hyun-Woo, but it seems like his mother was the one who kidnapped Hae-in. This might be why he'll turn his mother in the next episode. Meanwhile, it looks like Hae-in will remember more, while she's passed out. Hyun-Woo's determination to stay by Hain's side is commendable, as he went back to the company to be close to her. His excitement at seeing Hae-in come for him was palpable, only to see her get snatched from him. To make matters worse, he was hit by a car as he was going after her. In the preview, he can be seen clinging to life as the doctors try to save him. His family is going to be devastated by this, as it's one problem after another. However, despite his injuries, Hyun-Woo can be seen going after Hae-in at the Queen's mansion. If you recall, he's not only good at boxing, but also good with guns. Looks like we are in for a tense finale, as he sets out to save Hae-in, despite being hit by a car. He must have been rushed to the hospital after he saved Hae-in. What's more, Dahai's USB is finally going to be one of the things that will bring Eun-sung down. Poor Soo Cheol finally got to put his training to use, by defending Dahai from her abusive husband. At this point, there are so many cases against Eun-sung and his mother, that I wonder why none are used to bring them down. Sadly, it looks like Eun-sung might get the better end of the stick, as it looks like he might die in Hyun-Woo's hands, instead of rotting in prison for his many atrocities. Aunt Byung-ja and her beau are such a cute couple. Despite how the last episode ended, it looks like we're in for an all-round happy ending. Hopefully, Hyun-Woo won't lose the use of his legs, or suffer severely from his confrontation with Eun-sung and his goons. Grace's fate is still undecided. What with her trying to exploit her vulnerability. However, she intentionally left that journal for Hae-in to find. This could mean that her heart is with the Queen's. Hopefully, we'll get answers to many questions, like, why Soo-Hyun targeted the Queen's family, and maybe, have another wedding between Hae-in and Hyun-Woo. How anxious are you about the next episode? How do you think it will end? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this content, give it a like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.